जगे पुरुषार्थी।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी। वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
बुद्ध गगन के तारे।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे। परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
समर्थ बनाओ।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागो सारी दुर्बलता को राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ। बंधु भाव समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर शुभ संदेश हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा। भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, 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 गीता परिवार हमारा।
मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुरः पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
तरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
कुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीथी मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
साहो तेज झांसी वाली सा जलती शहीदों की चिता से हृदय में अंगार ले सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले संग्राम में जीवन धरा पर विजय रथ ले हम चले सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले ध्येय ज्योति नित जले ध्येय ज्योति नित जले।
सुन गैया, बोल कन्हैया, कलयुग में गीता श्लोक सिखाया जा रहा है। कहाँ कान्हा? गीता परिवार के ऑनलाइन जूम पर 20 दिनों में 2 अध्यायों का संस्कृत में शुद्ध पठन, गीता गुंजन सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा। साप्ताहिक गीता अर्थ विवेचन सत्र, 4 स्तरों पर संपूर्ण भगवद गीता का निशुल्क प्रशिक्षण, सभी अध्यायों के निशुल्क PDF, ऑडियो व वीडियो सामग्री मिलेगी। संस्कृत व्याकरण के लिए अतिरिक्त कक्षाएं होंगी। जून 2020 से अब तक 131 देशों से 4 लाख से अधिक गीता प्रेमी साधकों को प्रवेश। तो चलो हम भी चलें। reg.learngita.com आओ।
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जो दायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज संहारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है, प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
जय श्री कृष्ण। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। I bow down to the lotus feet of Param Pujya Swamiji Sri Govinda Dev Giriji Maharaj. A warm welcome to all the participants attending this program through Zoom session and YouTube. And today, our senior trainer of Geeta Parivar, Shraddha ji Raodeo, will be presenting the middle part of the chapter number 8. And at the beginning, we start every event with a prayer in our Sanatana culture. And today we have with us Himaja Sri Kalavala ji from Bangalore for the starting prayer. She is an MSc holder in chemistry. Her hobbies are music and reading. She is a trainee analyst at ITC. She serves as the L1 Tech and is a L2 Sadhak also. And she associates with the Geeta Parivar from May 2020. And I invite Himaji to start the prayer.
जय श्री कृष्ण। वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंस चाणूरवर्धनं, देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। श्रीकृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। जय श्री कृष्ण।
Thank you very much for the prayer, Himaji. Next, we move to the Divya project. We have Neeraja Varmaji from Jaipur with us. She has joined the Geeta Parivar in March 2022. Now she is a L4 Sadhak and a L1 trainer and also a technical assistant. She is a math teacher by profession. I invite Varmaji for the Divya presentation.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः, करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः। विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः, प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम्। शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां, कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदा नुमः वरदां शारदा नुमः.
Thank you very much, Neeraji, for the lamp lighting. And the next is the most expected part of this session. Our speaker today's session is Shraddha Raodeo, senior trainer of Geeta Parivar, who interprets the middle part of the chapter 8, Akshara Brahma Yoga. She is a resident of Hyderabad, is a BE Electronics degree holder with PG diploma in IT systems and management, has worked as a mobile application developer and a team leader for over 13 years. She is a disciple of Param Puja Govinda Dev Giriji Maharaj. She associates with Geeta Parivar at OGC. She serves as GP Geeta Parivar as trainer, examiner, Vivechak, and heading the class monitoring team. She associates with Bala Gokulam, Hyderabad, for over 8 years. I humbly invite you, Shraddha, to start the interpretation session. Over to you, Shraddha.
Jai Shri Krishna. That was a beautiful start for the session. Let's begin by remembering Shri Krishna and Swamiji and seek their blessings for the discussion ahead. Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Pranatah Kleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayanina Swayam Vyasena Prathitam Purana Muninam Matye Mahabharatam Advaitam Vratavarshini Bhagavati Mashtadashatyayini Amba Tvamanusandadhami Bhagavad-gītē Bhavatveshini. Om Shri Gurave Namaha. So we all are in the second session for discussing the Akshara Brahma Yoga. It's a very beautiful, very important, yet a little serious chapter. Serious because it discusses a topic which is not very easily discussed in the life, in the world that we live in. However, it is a very important one. See, the only certain thing about being in this world is that one day each one of us has to quit it. Each one of us has to leave the world. And since the Jivatma is going to be set on a very long journey post this, we all should also be equally prepared for this journey. The Jivatma should be prepared for its exit from the body and the journey ahead. This certain preparation should definitely be done. And this, why so? This has been discussed in the previous session. We saw a very important shloka. Yang yang vapismaran bhavantya jatyanti kalevaram tandami vaiti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavitaha. We have seen in the previous session that whatever is the thought that occupies the mind when the soul is leaving the body, in the next birth, the soul attains the body, attains the same thought, same place. Why so? Because the frequency is matching. When we meet people, we say my frequency matches with certain person. We talk like this level is matching. We clicked. together. So whatever is the thought that comes to the mind when the soul is exiting the body, it is clicked to that thought. It is, that frequency is set, and in the next birth, whatever you have done in this birth will stay with you. It will come to use. However, the form that the soul is going to enter in is going to be dependent on what is the thought that is in the mind when the soul is exiting the body. This is there. In connection to this, there is a very beautiful incident from Mahabharata that I've heard from Swamiji, and a very important one, where Pandavas were, near a sarovar, and they had to fetch water from that lake or from that pond or lake, and it was guarded by Yaksha. The 4 younger Pandavas, turn by turn, they went to fetch the water, and they put a condition that if you answer my question, then only you can touch the water of this lake. But none of them agreed to answer the questions, and they had to get the punishment that actually they could not take that water. When Yudhishthir reached there, Yudhishthir is Dharmaraj Yudhishthir. So Yaksha, when he proposed that you have to answer my questions, he agreed. And there is a very beautiful, very enlightening conversation that has happened there in Mahabharata. That is why, see, various incidents in Mahabharata teach us very important things. That is why Swamiji always says one should read this Grantha, one should read Mahabharata for enlightening their lives. This entire conversation of 100 questions by Yaksha is very beautiful, and in those questions, one of the questions that was asked by Yaksha to Yudhishthir is, what is the biggest wonder, or what is the biggest surprise, Ascharya of this world? A very intelligent answer has been given by Yudhishthir. He says the biggest Ascharya, the biggest wonder of this world is each one of us, all people on this world, know that one day they have to quit this world. One day they have to exit this world. However, none of them are ready to accept that fact. None of them are ready to, be prepared to leave this world. All of them are used to seeing people quitting the world. However, everybody believes that this is their eternal abode, and they will live their life in that particular style. So this is a very impressive answer, and we should also remember that when we are living here, we should remember that this is not our permanent destination. The thought of this last moment is an extremely important one, something that we should always contemplate about, we should always think about, and we should think about it without any fear. See, the last moment is like a stock market. The performance of the day is gauged or judged by what the last, what is the closing points. By that, the day is evaluated. It closed on such and such points. The financial years, no matter how the company has performed throughout the year, what is gone in the last few months, what is the closing balance of the financial year is what matters the most. The place where we are while leaving this birth becomes what our opening balance for the next birth. The closing balance of this birth is going to be what? The opening balance for the next month. So if we are going to be in good thoughts, we are going to get a good form that is going to be a good opening balance for us. And further, we saw Shri Krishna. Now we don't know when a body is going to be, left, right? This last moment, none of us can predict when is that last moment going to be. If that is the case, how do we deal with this problem? How do we think about Shri Krishna? How do we think about God in our last minute? For that, Shri Krishna has given a very important principle. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanasmarayutyacha mayyarpita mano buddhir mame vaishyasya samshayam. You've seen the shloka in the last session. Very important one. Always throughout, we should be connected by thoughts with whom? God. We should always be, our mind and our thoughts, our intellect should be invested in God. By doing this, what will happen? We will attain the God. Where our mind is, irrespective of the fact where our body is, we are where our mind is, essentially. Isn't it? So if our mind is with Shri Krishna all the time, connected to Shri Krishna, then we will automatically be with Shri Krishna all the time. Now, if we apply all the thoughts towards God, we will attain them. And this is not a very easy thing to do. Many people asking this questions also. When I'm doing an important presentation, how do I do this? Shri Krishna has said that this will happen by what? By abhyas, by practice. What is the meaning of abhyas? Trying to do the same thing again and again is abhyas, practice. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanyaghamina. We have seen this, we were at this shloka, and this is the shloka that we have to see in a little more detail. It's a very important one. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanyaghamina paramam purusham divyam yati parthanu chintayan. What is important? Abhyasa yoga yuktena. We have to make a very steadfast mind. We should have a steadfast mind. We should habitually do the meditation to attain this state. Continuously repeat trying to do meditation. And then what? By that we should try to attain what? Chetasa nanyagamina, na anyagamina. Chetasa means your mind. Should not, with the mind, how should the mind be? It should not be moving towards any other things. Na anyagamina. It should not move towards any other thing. How can this happen? Now, sometimes it is very difficult to, if we say that this is something that I will not be doing, I don't want my mind to get involved in other activities. The more we reinforce this thought that I don't want my mind to engage in other activities, the more chintan, the more thinking about those things we are doing. For instance, if I decide that I will not watch the mobile today, no matter what happens, I will not watch my mobile today. If I keep saying this to myself, I will not watch, I will not watch, though I am not watching the mobile, where are my thoughts? Continuously in the mobile. Okay, that I don't have to watch it, I don't have to watch it. However, instead of that, suppose I decide that I will not watch the mobile. That is the ultimate motive. But I program my mind to say, no matter what happens, today I will finish reading this all 28 shlokas with meaning. Today, no matter what happens, I have to, complete the adhyan, complete the studies of this chapter 8. I want to finish reading all the meanings. I want to finish reading the Sadhak Sanjeevani of this chapter. If this is what I decide, so what I am consciously taking my mind towards something that should be done, and also refraining from other things. So if I don't want my mind to be involved in other activities, I am doing what? I'm attracting it to something more critical. So this is what even Swamiji says, a very beautiful thing. For us to invest our mind in something worthwhile. Now, continuously thinking about God is also going to be tough. So he has given a very nice solution to this. He says 2 things we should study. The scriptures, our Vedic scriptures, difficult, but scriptures like Bhagavad-Gītā, Mahabharata, whatever Darshan Shastra scriptures, we should try to study. That is a little difficult. Then, if not that, we should try to study what? The literature by our saints, Jnaneshwari. There is so much beautiful literature in Geeta Plus by Swami Ram Sukasji Maharaj. Whatever literature appeals to you, try to read about them. Try to read about their life stories. There is so much that we can learn from the stories of our saints. So, If we invest our mind in these things, automatically our mind will become how? Na anyagamina. It will not stray away towards different things. By practice and dedication, what is it that is not possible? Everything. We have experienced this in our lives, isn't it? So many of us are learning Bhagavad Gita. 6 lakh people learning Bhagavad Gita in learngeeta.com. How many of us had ever imagined that we will be, reading this? So many people, I remember in our classes, Didi, we have no idea about Sanskrit. We don't have to look for a very far-fetched example of dedication and devotion. We can see this around us. So many people had never imagined few years back that we'll be learning Gita, but we all are able to do at least chant very nicely. This is the magic of abhyas. This is the magic of practice and focusing our minds on the right things. And one important word that Shri Krishna has used here, Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati Parthanuchintayan. Anuchintayan. The word here that Shri Krishna has used is Anuchintayan. This is a very important aspect. There is an important aspect in this word. Anuchintayan. Like we have Pathan and Anupathan. So when we say we have to do Anupathan means what the trainer is saying and you recite after them. So here also Chintan is being done and we are doing Anuchintan means what we are not the first ones to do this Chintan essentially. We are not the first ones to walk on this path of remembering the God. That is what is indicated in this phrase. Before us, many acharyas, many saints, etc. have done that. So we have to follow their path. We have to start our sadhana in the path, in the accordance with what the principles and experiences that are shared by them. One should make it a habit to follow the great literature by saints. We should try to understand scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata. Swamiji says Mahabharata, like we saw about this Yakshas Samvad. Conversation is so beautiful. There are some 100 questions asked and very enlightening questions. We should read the entire Mahabharata and it will be a very enlightening experience for all of us. Beautiful stories that teach us how to live life very beautifully. So all these, study of scriptures is going to enlighten a person's life. So he says, Shri Krishna is saying, Partha Anuchintayan, do this Anuchintan. One should be able to judge what to read and what to avoid. And by following this path of reading the right things, of following the path of studying, abhyas, what is going to be attained? By following this path of dedicated, uninterrupted devotion towards God, where is one person going to lead? Paramam Purusham Divyam. He is going to attain that Param Purush. Now, who is this Param Purush Shri Krishna is talking about? Aksharam Brahma Paramam. You've seen in the first shloka. Aksharam Paramam, the Akshar Purush. Now, what are the specific qualities of this Purush upon whom we are trying to constantly meditate through the idol worship, through the study of these scriptures? What is it that we are trying to constantly meditate upon? That Shri Krishna explains in the further few shlokas. Kavim Purana Manushasitaram Anuraniyam Samanusmaridhyaham Sarvasya Dhata Ramachintya Rupam Aditya Varnan Tamasaf Parastat. Kavim Purana Manusha Sitaram. There are 3 adjectives used in this particular charan about the Purush. What are the 3 adjectives? First is Kavi. Now, Kavi in the literal terms, most of us think the poet is known as Kavi, but in the Shastras and in Sanskrit language, Kavi is a term used for the intelligent ones, the wise ones, those who know everything, the Jnani, Sarvagnya, who know everything. That is Kavi. So this Param Purush is a Sarvagnya, means he knows everything. And he is Purana. Now, Puran doesn't mean ancient in this context. Here it is meaning the eternal. His beginning is not known, his end is not known to us. He has been existing right from the origin of the universe, and he is going to exist till eternity. He is Purana. And he is Anushasitaram. Anushasitaram means he is the ruler or the master of what the entire world that we see around. What by the meaning of the entire world we see around, we mean the Char and the Achar Srishti. Char means the mutable, mobile Srishti, the nature, and Achara means the immobile one, the immutable one. So whatever dynamic and non-dynamic things, mutable and unmutable things we are watching in this world are what governed by or controlled by this Param Purush. He rules the world. He is the one who administers everything. All the immutable creations and the mutable creations. And how big is he? Now, this is a natural question. If he is the controller of everything, what is his size? Anu Raniyams. Anoho Aniyamsam. What does that mean? He is extremely small. Sukshma se bhi sukshma means he's smaller than an atom. He's smaller than an anu. Smaller than the smallest thing that you can know. And he can be as vast beyond your imagination. He's minuter than the minutest. Like the minutest thing that a human brain can imagine is the atom. He is minuter than the atom also, and simplest and smallest. What is atom? Atom is the simplest and smallest physically divisible particle of any element. He is smaller than that. Thus, what Shri Krishna is trying to tell here is the subtlest of the subtle. Now, he's so subtle that he cannot, he's so subtle that he will be present. He can enter all the creations of the world. Nothing. See, by meaning of this atom is a particle which, specific properties. It will have the specific properties of the particular element. Similarly, Anuraniyas, it has the basic of all elements. So every form, it is so subtle that every creature, every form is made out of him. So it is also all encompassing. It is also everywhere. It is so vast because it's not only very subtle, it is also occupying the entire universe. And Sarvasya Dhataram. What does that mean? Sarvasya, it is so small. However, it is capable of holding everything together. Dhataram means holding. It is enveloping everything in itself. Sarvasya Dhataram. It holds the entire universe in itself. How this is possible? Like the sun is holding the earth by its gravitational pull. That is what we know now. But all the planets are revolving in a particular pattern around each other. The entire Milky Way, it is revolving in the universe in a particular pattern. All these are held together with each other by a certain mechanism, Sarvasya Dhataram. And who is responsible for this? Paramam Purushan Devya. So this Anuraniyam Samanasmaredyaha. He is smaller than the smallest. Then Sarvasya Dhataram Achintya Rupam. Sarvasya Dhataram. I told you, that means it is holding everything, and Achintya Rupa. It is not possible. See, even when we are telling that it is subtler than the subtlest, it is a very small atom. It is so difficult to imagine. Our human brain has this capacity. We cannot, it is the limitation of our brain, our thinking capacity, that we cannot continuously, or we cannot focus our thoughts and imagine a conceivable form of this Param Purush. We cannot say it looks like this, because it is immutable, it is so small, it is also so big, and owing to our limitations of our intellect, we cannot see it, we cannot imagine it in a conceivable form, that is Achintya Rupa. So what we do, we get this achintya. Achintya means something which cannot be imagined or focused on. We get it into a small idol. We are. This is the reason why it is important to have a picture or an idol of our God. So we have something to focus on. Without a form in front of our eyes, the human brain will find it very difficult to focus. So that Achintya Akshara Purush, we are bringing him. It is coming in the small idol for us, so that our brain can comprehend it, and we can do its sadhana. We can worship it. And further, what Shri Krishna says, Aditya Varnantamasa Parastat. Aditya Varnan, it is as bright as the sun. And why the example of sun is given here? The example of sun is given because sun is not only a symbol of brilliance or brightness, but also something that will take you away from darkness. Not only the darkness of light, also the knowledge. It is as brilliant as the sun, and it will take you beyond this darkness. Such a beautiful thing. See, if we think about it, does sun know the definition of darkness? Wherever sun will go, he will not know, because his swabhav, his natural nature is brilliance, illumination, light. So he is so illuminated. His radiance, his vastness, his comprehensiveness of the God is expressed in terms of sky and the sun. The radiance, the brilliance, and the knowledgeableness has been expressed in terms of the sun. He is as bright as the sun. Now these examples of sun and sky that we keep talking about, these are just thinking aids. We have listening aids, visual aids for children, when they are small. For us to understand these scriptures in depth, these are actually just thinking aids. So sun is actually, so if we say that God is like sun, it is actually an understatement, because sun itself is getting illuminated by God. But for us to comprehend his very nature, we can imagine sun, so it helps us like a thinking aid. So his brilliance is like that, and he is capable of driving us away from the darkness of ignorance. Prayana kale manasa chalena yukto yoga bhalena chaiva भ्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणभावेश सम्यक् सतं परं पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम् प्रयाणकाले मनसा चलेन. So we have to attain that state of what the blissful state where gracefully the body can be left by the soul. The Jivatma leaves the body gracefully so as to attain a very nice higher abode, gets united with the God. For that, Shri Krishna has explained Prayana Kale, to attain that God, attain the Param Purush, what we have to do, Prayana Kale Manasa Chalena, means Manasa Achalena. What we have to do at the time of that, with a steady and quietened mind, stable mind, what a person should do? Bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva. Two things the person will be needing. One, Bhaktya yukto. He means devotion, full of devotion. And yoga balena chaiva. The strength of yoga, the power of yoga to fix this breath, which is also known as the pran. What has to be done? The breath has to be fixed on the breath has to be fixed. How we have to do that? Prayana kale manasa chalena. This stay with a stable mind. You should have the strength, yogic strength to fix your pran, fix the breath, and also the devotion, also the faith, bhakti. It is, see, this is a very important thing that as I've heard with Swamiji. When we think of yoga, there are so many people who do yoga, but the practice of yoga is going to be successful only when it is based on faith, on devotion towards God. Otherwise, it is just act as a means to keep the body healthy. But this ultimate motive of yoga, the ultimate success of yoga, the ultimate aim that we have to strive for through yoga is not going to be achieved unless the practice of yoga is based on devotion towards God. And doing this, bhaktya yukta, using your devotion and having a steady mind with the strength of your yoga, what has to be done? Ruvor madhye pranamaveshya samyak. The pran, the breath, but we have to get in between the two eyebrows, holding the breath in between the two eyebrows. What is in between the two eyebrows? There is an agya chakra. We have 6 chakras. We have different chakras in our body, and the one between the two eyebrows is the agya chakra. The breath is to be held in between. So crossing all the 6 chakras, it has to be held at the middle of the eyebrows. And satam param purusham upaiti divyam, have to hold the breath at one particular point, and with this is the takeoff position, you can say, to attain what? The supreme param purush. Yadaksharam veda vido vadanti vishanti yatyatayo vitaraga yadichanto brahmacharyai charanti tatte padam sangrahena pravakshi. Yadaksharam veda vido vadanti vishanti yatyatayo vitaraga. Now here Shri Krishna is talking about the people who actually strive to attain the Param Purush. Yat veda vidaha aksharam vadanti. What are the Veda Vid? What does the meaning of this word Veda Vid mean? Veda Vid means the knowers of Vedas, the ones who know Vedas in and out. Those wise, intelligent intellectuals, saints, the meditative yogis, they call him by which name? Aksharam. They know him how? As a Aksharam, means a formless, imperishable, formless being. Now can't even say being, but something that is formless. So this is the definition given by the knower of Vedas. And yat vitaragaha yataiha vishanti. So how is this from the ones that we have described in Kapim Puranam? And after this, we have held the prana over here, and we are focusing on whom? What are we thinking about? The Akshar Purush. How is this Akshar Purush? He is Akshar, and he is the one, Krishna emphasizes here, that this same very imperishable truth can be realized by whom? Those who practice sincere and severe self-restraint. Here it means vitaragaha yatayaha. Yatayaha means, yatayaha is a term used for people who practice very sincere and very severe type of self-control. But it is a very consistent self-control, not like, 2 days I'll do fasting, consistently throughout their lives. Those who have practiced sincere, severe self-control, they are yati actually. They are, and they are how Vitaraga means they are free of the worldly attachments, free from the subjects, worldly subjects. Means they have to grow out of these desires. See, when we are very, when we understand the scriptures by the study of Bhagavad Gita, you all must have also experienced this. When we know the ultimate truth, when we try to understand these daily life's issues, they become very small, they become little timid. Everything which used to look very big, problematic, so huge, problems used to feel, everything becomes small, everything, because now you have a very bigger picture in front of your mind, you have a bigger goal in front of your mind. And by so these Vitaragaha, they are these people are free from all these attachments, free from all the worldly pleasures. They don't get interested in all these worldly pleasures. They have grown out of desires. Simple thing. Somebody, you have experienced this yourself also. We all at one point of time must have enjoyed the movies, theaters, and all that. But after reading Bhagavad Gita, how many of you just love to be connected with this? Now, when we are singing, naturally some shlokas will come, some bhajans will come. The liking automatically goes, isn't it? So similarly, with that kind of intellect, with more and more practice, with more and more studies of the scriptures, and as we were discussing, with studying the different literature from various saints, what is going to happen? They are all going to outgrow this, liking for the desires. So when a child is small, he so much fascination for that bat ball. Then when they grow, some people develop, liking for tennis, then badminton, then that small plastic bat ball. People are not enchanted by it anymore, isn't it? And the more they grow, start driving, cycling, start driving motorbikes and all that, then that plastic bat and ball, who will remember? It's like that. So Vitaragaha, they are going to outgrow these desires and realize the actual nature and the goal of their lives. So when this state is attained, what will happen? They are at a stage where they can enter this imperishable form. Vitaragaha yataya vishanti. Where yat, the form that we are talking about, in that, after attaining this meditative state, these Vitaragaha meditative saintly yogis are going to enter into that imperishable state, imperishable form, imperishable and formless Param Purush. So the two characteristics. First, we have seen that it is called Akshar. Then he has told that this is a form which can be entered into by such powerful yogis. And what is the third thing? Yat ichhantaha brahmacharyan charanti. Those who are desiring this imperishable, eternal Akshara form, Akshara Brahma, those who want to get united with that, what will they do? They will practice brahmacharya. Now, in our routine terms, what we assume brahmacharya means not getting married and giving up on living in houses and all. That is not the real brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means connected to the Brahma Tattva consistently, constantly being in touch with Brahma, constantly being in touch with that superpower, supernatural power, that omniscient Purush, continuously being in touch with it, is brahmacharya. And tatte padam sangrahena pravakshim. So this is the ultimate goal that they have to achieve. So by means, here Shri Krishna has explained the means. This is the meditative state, this is the physical state, and now he is going to further tell that they are going to enter into this Akshara form, enter and get united with this Param Purush. And how is this procedure? How is this process? At the time of leaving the physical body, how it has to be? Because see, this is the question that Arjun has asked. The seventh question that Arjun has asked, and we had discussed that Shri Krishna has explained really in detail. The seventh question, the entire thing, what he has asked, prayana kale chakathain. How should the person, what should the person do to attain you? That is the question that Arjun has asked. Adhibhutang Sharo, say Shri Krishna, all the 6 questions that he has answered in one word. But what he has asked in the end, Prayana Kale Chakathai, Niyosi Niyatatmavi, Prayana Kale Chakathai, how do we do that? That Shri Krishna has explained, has made a background of that, and here how is that exact process? Shri Krishna is telling us further, Sarvatvarani Sanyamya Manohridhi Nirutyacham Murdhyadhayatmanah Pranam Asthito Yogadharanam. What Shri Krishna is saying, Sarvatvarani Sanyamya, this body is a structure with 9 gates according to the scriptures. There are 9 openings, so through which the body, physical body, is connected with the world. So the 9 gates, 2 eyes, nose, mouth. So this body, by having a complete control over all the gates of this body, Sarvadvarani Sanyam, having controlled all these 9 gates, Manohridhi Nirutyacham, where do we hold the mind? In the heart. You are focusing your mind on keeping your mind in control and focusing it in the heart. Manohridhi, having controlled the mind. Murdhnyadhayatmanah pranam asthito yogadharanam. So we were discussing to hold the pran, the breath, in between the 2 eyebrows that we had discussed. So how it is to be done? Crossing all the 6 chakras, starting from the Mooladhara chakra, pushing the prana, okay, and bringing it in between the eyebrows, crossing Mooladhara, then Swadhisthana, Manipur chakra, Anahat chakra, Vishuddhi chakra, and then Agnya chakra. Here we were, and pushing it further to what? Shasara chakra. There, when the mind, the yogi will be able to push the pran to that. And when he's doing this, he has fixed the life breath where? In the head. The life breath, the pran is held in the head, and he is engaged in this practice of concentration. Previous shloka we have seen, Mudnyadaya Ruvor Mate Pranam Avesha Samyak, and then one step up towards the head, it is pushed. And while doing this, when the pran is actually leaving from the head, what? One nad, one sound has to be done. Om. Om Etyekaksharam Brahma Vyaharan Vamanusmaran Yaf Prayatitya Jandeham Sayati Paramangatim. So this Om, it is a very vague topic in itself. Uma, 3 matra. This is not just one sound. It is much beyond that. In our Upanishad, one entire Upanishad is dedicated to this sound of Om. The entire Mandukya Upanishad is dedicated to Om, and Swamiji says those who seek freedom from this life, they should try to read that. However, let us just stick to Bhagavad Gita for now. So uttering this one syllabled Om is what? It is a symbol of Brahma. So by pushing the pran up from the body, pushing the pran up through the chakra in the head, okay, and remembering me, the one who departs in this way, leaves the body, attains the supreme goal in this way, then what is Om? Om is Ekakshar Brahma. Irrespective of, okay, this one more important thing. When we are seeing Om, some people might say, why only Om? I believe in Durga Mata, I believe in Ganpati Maharaj, I believe in Shivji. So what is this? Everybody should understand this one thing about Om is irrespective of which God you worship. All the names of the gods and all mantras ultimate merge into one Omkar. So everything gets absorbed into what? Omkar. It is the Ekakshar Brahma. So the pran that is being pushed out of the body through the head is done. It is done with the process of what? Omkar. And then such a person gets absorbed in whom? In the Supreme Purush itself. Now, from the expressions of Arjun, Gyaneshwar Maharaj has described this. That must be that, he thought, okay, this is looking so impossible. How will one know? The death is such an unpredictable thing. Imagine some people in the coma, poor people, they are not even able to forget about, recognizing their relatives and all. Sometimes they're not even able to recognize themselves. In such a situation, how would anybody in a situation where a person is leaving the body under such circumstances, somebody had an accident, and in that case, how he will sit and do this, push the pran through the head? Naturally, this question will come to all. This question naturally this doubt has been raised by Gyaneshwar Maharaj also. The death is unpredictable. How to do all this? The person who is not capable of, taking care of himself also, how will he sit and do this entire practice? Krishna says that if throughout his life a person has worshipped him wholeheartedly, then at the time of the departure from this world, Krishna will not just send his help, not send only his dooth, he himself will come and pick up that devotee in his hands and take him with him. Take the devotee with Shri Krishna. Such a beautiful assurance. This has been expressed in Jnaneshwari. When a person is not in a position to do this ideal practice at the time of leaving the world, that the mukti, the freedom of that particular soul will be the responsibility of the God. God loves us with full, God loves us more than how much we love him. Basically, what we feel for God, we are on and off remembering him. According to him, he is always remembering us. Anusmara, Ma Manusmara, he always says. So at the time of departure, if the person is not in a position to remember God, God himself will come and remind him of the God and take him with himself. Such a beautiful assurance. So what should one do? This is a very important shloka, very beautiful shloka. Throughout, there's a very important message that we all have to take from this shloka. That no matter what, see, this practice is a very important thing. We all should strive for it. And if we are lucky to get this kind of moksha, nothing like it. But stay assured that if throughout the life, a sadhak spends time remembering God in all his actions, keep being connected with God at all times, in all good deeds, then at the last moment, God will take care of everything for him. Even slightest of the good deeds that one person does during his entire lifetime, even a smallest good deed that you do is not going to get wasted. People should always spend time in good deeds, and I really from the experience of my own life, I really am so thankful to Learn Geeta and Geeta Parivar, learngeeta.com, that sitting at home we get to spend time reading this beautiful scripture, doing some good deeds, taking this entire beautiful knowledge to so many sadhaks around the world, and completely bringing some meaning to this life. So eternally grateful I am to this Geeta Parivar and learngeeta.com. And we all should, in whatever means possible, try to bring this meaning to our lives, so that Sri Krishna himself is bound to help us in our last moment. Further also, Sri Krishna is telling a very beautiful thing. Ananya cheta satatai yo mam smarati nityashaha tasyaham sulabhah partha nityayuktasya yoginaha. Such a beautiful sentence. How should one remember this? He has told, okay, I will, this is how the pran should go. We don't know how this will happen. So Shri Krishna has given an assurance that he will be there for us. How should we do his sadhana? How should we remember? Ananya cheta satatai. Ananya chetaha. There is nothing in the mind except the thought of God himself. Ananya or ananya. Nothing else in the mind. Ananya cheta satatahi yo mam smarati nityashaha. Another important one. Yo mam smarati, the one who remembers me. How? Nityashaha, regularly. Not when only exam is coming. God, please pass me. I'll give you a nariyal. I'll break a coconut in your temple if I pass. No, such dedication Shri Krishna is not asking. Nityashaha. Regularly remembers on a daily basis, continuously, and it is difficult. But how it will come? By practice. Nityashaha, upon one who's daily remembering him. Tasyaham sulabha partha. Sulabha means easily attainable. Tasyaham sulabha partha. Nityayuktasya yoginaha. To such steadfast people, to such people who are constantly, keeping me in their thoughts. And they will always attain me. How? They will attain me easily. I am easily attainable to them. So in this one shlok, basically Shri Krishna has simplified the whole talk for us. This is difficult, no? Carrying the pran up the womb, so much yoga practice. We are not capable of doing that. So Shri Krishna has simplified the whole thing. What we have to do, we have to only control our mind. That is also very difficult. What we have to do, we have to invest our mind in good thoughts, good bhajan, kirtan, all other different good deeds. And in all the actions that we do, what we have to do? We have to keep the God in mind. Ananya cheta satam. This one word, Ananya chetas, we should understand how the Ananya cheta bhakti is, how this type of devotion is, one should understand. When a small child, there are nowadays people working from home during Corona times, everybody was working from home. The children really suffered at that time. So both parents working and the child alone playing. So what the parents, mother will do, okay, take this, do some coloring activity for some time, do some other mobile playing for some time, okay, read a story book for some time, okay, watch. After finishing all toys and all activities, now the child is, now I'm done. I just want you. Nothing else is more important. I only want you. So beautiful. Ananya Chetas. One very beautiful story about, when how is this Ananya Cheta Bhakti, somebody had asked, and the saint said, okay, when they were drowning in water, they was near a lake. This saint, he pushed the other person in the water, and at that moment, what is it that you want the most? He pushed him down and struggled to breathe. Then the saint let him come up. He said, when you were inside the water, what is it that you wanted the most? He said, I wanted air the most. He's telling this Ananya Cheta Bhakti is the one in which there is nothing else. It's like this air bubble you wanted. Nothing else that you want except what? God Himself. That is how this devotion is. Nothing else but God. Whatever I am doing, this is not for anybody else but only God. Smarati Nityasha, by the means of our actions, by the means of our daily routine. Make him a part of our daily routine. Keep him in your memory always. Tasyaham, and by doing this, what happens? Sulabha Pata. So he will take care of the rest of the things for us. This we have seen. As a Geeta Parivar volunteer, we have seen this no matter what big problems we think, so many big tasks we feel happen without any problem. Why? Because the entire thing is administered by who? Who is the Anushasitaram of this entire thing? Shri Krishna himself. Tasyaham sulabhav partha nitya yuktasya yogina. If this kind of steadfast person will attain me easily. Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Napnuvanti mahatmanah samsiddhim paramangataha. Further, Shri Krishna says, a person who has attained me like this, attained me in this particular way, they will not have to come again on this, in this world. Mam upetya. Upetya means having attained, after attaining. Mam upetya. By attaining me. After attaining me, there is no need, there is no way punaha come again or punarjanma na vidyate. There will be no need for him to take birth here. He will not take birth. Here means where? Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. How is this entire world? Very important adjective Shri Krishna has used here. What is the adjective? Dukkhalaya. What is, why Dukkhalaya? Where the place where we go to get Vidya is called what? Vidyalaya. The place where we get books, what is that called? Pustakalaya. In Pustakalaya we get Pustak. We get books. In Vidyalaya we get what? Vidya. In Rugnalaya we find whom? The Rugna. In Dukkhalaya what we will get? Dukkha. And we'll see what is this? Now, why there is so much sorrow? Why is it called Dukkhalaya? Because it is also ashashvatam. This nothing. This is like a dream. Okay, this is not eternal. This is not everlasting. This is not going to solve any purpose. So how is this entire world? Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. This ashashvat, constantly changing world that we live in has been termed as what? Dukkhalaya. So what Shri Krishna says, having attained me, this kind of yogi, this kind of a devotee who is dedicated to me, has no reason to come back to this Dukkhalaya, will not come to this world again. But not only, see, this also depends on the God. If he wants to send them for certain purpose, they will do their job and go back to him. For them, this is not a dukkhale. This is a very important message that Swamiji always explains with this shlok, that this is a dukkhale for worldly people like us. Okay, it is full of sorrow for worldly people like us. But for the Mahatmana, for the ones who are the great people, who have attained the highest perfection, highest level of yoga, and have attained the God himself, for them this is not a dukkhalaya. For them, it is even if God has to send him for his own work, they will go do their work and come back. Yadeshwar Maharaj. So beautifully Swamiji explains this, that all the saints, not necessary, they will pray to God that, okay, this is the earth needs you, and Shri Krishna will say, okay, this Mahatma, this yogi will come, will do this work for me on this bhumi. For them it is not a dukkhalaya, but for other normal people, it is a dukkhalaya. It is a ashashvata place. It is a constantly changing and non-eternal place, and it is full of sorrow. So, what kind of cycle are we stuck in? We will, we are so attached to our desires, occasionally remembering the God and getting stuck in this vicious cycle over and over again. But if we attain Shri Krishna, what will happen? We will be free from this continuous vicious cycle. So, mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam naapnuvanti mahatmanas na apnuvanti. They will not get to come in. Na apnuvanti mahatmanas samsiddhim paramangata. Those who have united with me, they will have nothing to come back to. They will not be coming back to. So, no matter what we do, one day so far what we have seen, no matter what we do, one day everybody has to go. Everybody's final destination is the same. Na mamupete. What means our final destination is the union with God himself. That is where we have to ultimately go. And how to go? For us, the easiest way is Yo mam smarati nityashaha. Keep remembering him in our all actions. Last time a very interesting question was asked about this, how to keep remembering. When you start the day, remember God. Okay, whatever I'm going to be doing today at your service, everything is offered back to God. And then a person who is constantly in touch with the God is going to attain what? The heavenly abode. Further, Shri Krishna says, Brahma bhuvana loka punaravartinorjuna. Brahma bhuvana loka punaravartinorjuna. Mamupetya tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. Such a beautiful shloka. Brahma, how is this world? Brahma bhuvana loka punaravartinorjuna. Mamupetya tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. This world from, smallest insect, small ants, till the entire Brahma, till the Brahma of this world. Say from, in our language, you can say from A to Z, everything included is what is from a small ant's body, from our body to ant's body, everything till Brahmaji's abode, everything is how it is subject to change. It is always changing. Nobody is eternal from this body till Brahmaji's own. Everything is changeable. Now, only one abode that is not changeable is what? The abode of Sri Krishna himself. Only that abode, only that one place is such that is not going to change at all. So once a person who comes there does not need to go back. One person who has attained Mam Upetya, one who has attained that will not need to go back, not need to go back anywhere. That is important. If from all the lokas, everything from this world till the Brahma Lok, everything is changeable, and it is going to be, see how is the Swarga Lok. There is a lot of fascination around Swarga Lok, and for there was, at least as young kids and all, when people used to think, I want moksha, we want mukti, what was the definition? After that, go to Swargalok. That is what was the primitive level of understanding that we had, that after death what we have to attain is Swarga. That's not how it is. What is Swarga is also, it is like, you have a credit card and you go to live in some resort, in some big hotel if you go to live, and in that resort, in that hotel you go to live, and as long as there is balance in your card, they will keep swapping every day. A particular amount is being swapped. Nice services you will get till there is money in the card. The day that card is over, what will happen? Out of that resort, isn't it? Out of the hotel. So Sargalok is like that. We have a bank balance of punya and papa, good deeds and our bad deeds. There is a proper balance account that is maintained. Our account, if it is good, all the punya, that is like the credit card, a balance loaded in that credit card, all our punya karma. That we will have, with the person with that much balance will attain what? The Swargalok. And after that balance is over, again come back to the Mrityulok. Again come back to the Dukkhalaya. Why? Because the balance of good deeds is over. Now go do karma again and earn some good deeds and then come back. We forget about just coming back to Dukkhalaya, but coming back to this Mrityulok, even if you attain a higher abode in the Swargadev Lok. The story is the same, isn't it? We in whatever we have earned, it is earned, and then the story remains the same. Once that credit is over, once the count balance of the good deeds is over, then what? Then come back and enjoy the Mrityulok. So, but what is that one place where once you go, there is no question of credit and discredit? Now there is no question of this balance getting over. And what is that one abode? The Brahma. So, Mam Upetya, the one who has attained that Brahma, is going to get what? Going to be relieved from all these worries. So continuously we should see. This chapter could be a little difficult for some people to understand. It is sometimes a little. By continuous studies, Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena, by continuously studying, by continuously reading about it, gradually it will come to us. Though it is a little tough to understand, we should make an attempt. God also wants us to study these scriptures for the betterment of our own selves. If not this birth, by the next birth, whatever we are doing, we are investing our time into something good. It is very important. Otherwise, see, we cannot, if a third standard child decides, so my syllabus of third standard I understand very conveniently, but ultimately you have to go to 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, isn't it? Just because one is comfortable with their third standard syllabus, it doesn't mean that they just stick around there. They have to, take those challenges and learn more and more, graduate, and mature and graduate to a higher level of study. This chapter is like that. Higher level of studies we have to attain by trying to understand that. we cannot, there might be some difficulties, there might be some initial struggles, but ultimately we have to come about that and try to understand these concepts and take away the important meanings for us. So if we just keep that larger aim, but what is the practical meaning that we have to keep in mind? The practical meaning is that in every task that you do, remember, keep a memory of God throughout your day. Don't forget that any moment could be the last moment. Your thoughts should always be clean. Thoughts should always be good. Thoughts should always be of wanting to be where you are. There is a very beautiful story of Eknath Maharaj that is worth contemplating in this context. Once an ordinary person came to Eknath Maharaj. He was very impressed. He says, no matter how much I try to be good, Swamiji, I'm not able to, be very good. I'm not able to control my actions. I get angry. I, misbehave with my juniors. How is it that you are so perfect? How is it that you are so great? I cease to understand. What is your secret? I want to know how you can be so great. So Eknath Maharaj says, oh, leave all these complicated topics. Show me your hand. Let me see your future. And he saw the hand and he said, oh my God, you know what? You are going to die in a week's time. You have only 7 days left. I leave it up to you what you want to do. Whatever you want to do, decide and stay, but you have only 7 days. The 8th day you are going to go. Now this man was worried. Only 7 days left. Let me earn some credit. Let me earn. So if somebody tells I have a job only for 7 days, okay, let me save as much money as possible. He was in that situation. Let me earn as much punya as possible. Let me do as many good deeds. Started doing charity. Started working very hard, started being very loving with his family members. Everything said and done. Beautiful life he lived. Ideal life. 1, 2, 3 days, 5 days, 5, 6th day. He was a changed person, calm, doing all peaceful activities, being good to others, charity, everything done nicely. 7th day passed and 8th day came. He was alive. He was wondering, how come Eknath Maharaj is a great sage. Now, he cannot go wrong. Let me go and ask that it's 8th day and I'm still alive. What's wrong? Let me go and ask him. So he went back to Eknath Maharaj and said, Swamiji Maharaj, you told me I will die in 7 days. I'm still alive. So Eknath Maharaj says, Are leave all that. Tell me, how were your 7 days? He said, oh, they were great. I did so much charity. I was so nice to my family members. I was very kind to all my juniors also. I didn't fight with anybody. Anger, gussa to aaya hi nahi. I was so happy throughout. I tried to, be very happy and love, spend time with family, all this. And Eknath Maharaj said, that's it. You were asking me how I may manage to maintain this integrity, how I managed to keep doing all the good things throughout. It is by doing this. I live every day as if this is going to be my last day. If we also make it a practice that you never know when this last moment is going to come, look at it without fear. Look at it in a very wise way, in a very intellectual way, by accepting the fact that this is, a truth. Accepting the truth is going to be the first step. Working towards this truth is going to be an important step. So only if we also, so this trick Eknath Maharaj told this devotee, that I live my every day as if this is my last day, and hence I end up living it happily in the best possible way. So this is what, if you also follow, you will be able to live the saintly life. This is what we all also should try to infer the practical aspects that we can take away from this chapter. Further, Shri Krishna is telling Sahasra Yuga Paryanta Maharyat Brahmano Viduhu Ratri Yuga Sahasrantanti Ratra Vido Janaha. Now, further, what is happening is a very important Kala Ganana has started, and this is also a very interesting topic, how the time is calculated in our scriptures. A very interesting thing. All this we will look at it in a further session in a continuity. So whatever discussion we have had so far today, I offer it in the feet of Param Pujya Swami Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj, because of whom we could all sit here and discuss this to a certain extent, and in the feet of Shri Krishna, by whose grace we have got this entire knowledge. Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Jai Shri Krishna, everybody. Thank you so much.
We attended a very great session in which Didi dealt in detail the middle part of the 8th chapter, Akshara Brahma. Now it is the time for questions and answers. I request you, those who are asking questions, to hand raise, switch on their video, and wait for their turn.
Sorry, we also crossed the time limit, but if there are any further questions, you can feel free to raise your hand or also post them on the chat. Else we can proceed further to the play. I don't see any hand raises here. The comments on the chat. Thank you for that. I think we can proceed to the prayer. In the meantime, if there are any further questions, please feel free to raise them.
Okay, we will move to the prayer. I offer my sincere thanks to the technical team behind this session. And today, for the ending prayer, we have Ojasvi Dhingraji from Delhi with us for the prayer. She associates Geeta Parivar since October 2022, now a L3 Sadhak, serves as L2 Tech, calling and migration departments. She pursues an MA course after completing graduation in English, Psychology and Sociology, Honors and BA. Singing, cooking and painting and arts are her hobbies. I invite you, Ojasvi, for the prayer.
Yes, Krishna. Yogesham Satchidanandam Vasudevam Prajakriyam Dharma Samsthapakam Veeram Krishnau Vande Jagadguru Shri Krishnau Vande Jagadguru. Thank you very much, Ojasvi, for the prayer. And all please wait, let us listen Hanuman Chalisa and end the session.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायकु फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसतिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल चल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर है सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है पर सिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय।
जय श्री कृष्ण सर्वं श्री कृष्णार्पणमस्तु।
Thank you, Didi. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Shraddha Bhaiya.